rugby final. It's the Auckland Blues and the Canterbury Crusaders, an all-New Zealand affair, and they are boogieing away on the terraces. The pre-match entertainment has been spectacular, and it's everything it deserves and fitting for a grand final, which we are about to kick off with here at Eden Park. Conditions overhead, I can tell you, it's a little overcast, but there's been no rain in Auckland in the last 24 hours, and that footing there is absolutely perfect here. A little bit of a breeze here. You can see the flags at the top of your screen there. That's a westerly direction that will favour the team playing from left to right as they run out onto Eden Park very shortly. Good contingent of Canterbury Crusaders supporters here. Great to see them come up from the south. There is real feeling here, and there is real feeling in the south that the Crusaders can end Auckland's perfect run in this competition. That has yet to be seen, but they'll have to overcome history, of course. The Blues have never been beaten here on Eden Park, and that is something the young blokes in the Crusaders will have to overcome. A couple of old blokes there, Wilson Winteray on the left, Morris Trapp as well on the right. And they, of course, will have experienced the big match tension at Eden Park. And the cheerleaders there strutting their stuff. It really is a fantastic scene. Prime Minister, Mrs. Shipley, of course, here, great rugby follower, wearing red and black there. I guess that's no surprise. And behind her, Fred Allen, the legendary Fred the Needle. What a fantastic bloke he is too. And they're all here for a fantastic occasion. One of the most nervous men here will be John Hart, because he has 23 players who are scheduled to play in the All Black trial next Monday night. 23 of them involved in this match. Of all the people here at the ground to hear the final whistle, I'm sure he will be the most relieved. But that's a scene you just love to see here at Eden Park. And calling the game for us this afternoon, they're keyed up for this one as well. Running the touchline will be Buck Anderson. Upstairs with the best view in the house, Murray Mexted and Grant Nisbet.
Thank you, Smithy, and good afternoon, everyone. Yes, well, we started in the last weekend of February with 12 teams, and here we are now down to the final two in Super 12, 1998, the Crusaders and the Blues. And what a marvellous scene it is here at Eden Park, Murray Mexted. A lot of tension about it. I'm sure when we see the players, we'll see the tension on their faces as well.
There is tension around, there's no doubt about it. They're sitting on the edge of their seats and the game hasn't even commenced. And the reason for that, of course, is that people aren't confident like they normally are when the Blues play at Eden Park. There's a suspicion that this Canterbury team can sneak through with a victory. About the only person I've spoken to today that is confident is Grant Fox.
And even he's not so sure. It really is a classic North versus South confrontation, and for the occasion, Eden Park is chock-a-block. The man with the whistle, of course, Paddy O'Brien. A lot of pressure on him, but New Zealand's #1 referee, and the two Steve Walshes will be helping him out this afternoon. So let's now wait as the Crusaders come on to Eden Park. Coach Wayne Smith has made just the one change to a starting lineup. Scott Robertson, one of the form players of the competition, takes the #7 jersey from Angus Gardner. The way players like Berryman, Mayerhoffler, Maxwell and Hammond have been playing this season, along with Robertson, has seen them this week recognised by the All Black selectors. The team is captained by the tough and durable Todd Blackadder. What a season he's had, Todd Blackadder, and this would just crown it for him. And it's no coincidence that the Crusaders have improved dramatically since the form of Andrew Mertens has improved.
No coincidence at all. Here's a man who can play a game plan, and Wayne Smith's the sort of character that will have a serious game plan for every match. And obviously Mertens has instituted that game plan. He's implemented it, and he's done it with aplomb.
So here they come, the defending champions, the Auckland Blues. The Auckland Blues lost two key players during the week, Jonah Lomu and Andrew Roos. Both of these players have been replaced by 20-year-olds, Caleb Ralph for Lomu and James Christian for Roos. 11 of the side played in last year's final against the Brumbies, but the players missing include Zinzan Brook and Sean Fitzpatrick. Michael Jones, under an injury cloud all week, captains the Blues. Big day today for James Christian. biggest match he's played in, the 20-year-old hooker. Robin Brooke, been there, done that. Although Brown, a lot of experience in this Auckland Blues side. Paddy O'Brien of Southland with the whistle for the final. Steve Walsh of North Harbour and Steve Walsh of Wellington. Mark Meyerhoffler. Paddy O'Brien checking with the two sides. We're underway in the 1998 final at Eden Park. And immediately the Blues take on the Crusaders. Tanu'u pops it up for Vindiri. Beautiful pass up to Caleb Ralph. The Blues open them up straight away. Gibson makes a very good tackle. Now it's a question of getting to the loose ball, and the Blues look to me as though they might grab it. They'll get the first scrum.
Caleb Ralph getting some space and through the hole. He won't be much of a loss. They won't feel a loss, I don't think, today of Jonah Lomu with this replacement. He's a magnificent footballer with a high work rate. But there he goes through the slot, having a go on the outside. Good confident stuff. Not quite laying it down like he should. Oh, actually, he did lay it down well.
Slight advantage there for the Blues as we look at the first scrum of the game.
No. Hey,
and if it carries on like that, Murray will have a great game on our hands.
Well, I'm sure it will, because both these teams have come to play rugby. It's very obvious the way they've attacked their campaign. The word attack is on everybody's mind, and the Canterbury team, whenever they get the ball from any situation, whether it's from a defensive situation or a counter-attack situation, they attack. They do exactly that, and the Auckland team obviously are the hallmark for that.
Right, here we go. Xavier Rush off the back. Tanu'u. Clark misses, but it goes straight to Stensness. Vindiri's already had an early hand in it. Willis takes it off him. Good continuity here from the Blues. They look really fired up for this game. Tanu'u delivers for Stensness. Some tough tacklers amongst these Crusaders. And they'll get it back, the Blues. Joeli Vindiri's had a couple of runs out on the far side. An opportunity as we look at Joeli Vindiri to welcome to the telecast live on Sky the people of Joeli Vindiri's village from Nasuri in the Highlands and their chief, Ratu Joeli Vindiri. Hope you're enjoying it away up there in Fiji.
Is that for real, Nisbo? Is that his name?
That's his name. Xavier Rush again feeds to Nu'u. Clark. Meyerhoffler gets onto him. Jones is there. Blues retaining possession outstandingly well at the start of the final. Stensness onto Spencer. Good footwork here from Carlos Spencer. Finally they drag him down. Halfway line. Tanu'u way across to Robin Brooke. Standing wide, hello, it's a forward pass. Yes, it is.
Went forward.
Big call from Paddy O'Brien.
Well, this will be the Crusaders' first opportunity to get their hands on the ball. They haven't had it since the game started. So this little mistake, they don't make that many in the big matches, Auckland. We know about that. Well, I bet this man would love to get the ball in his hands early in the game. He may just do that. He's on the left wing. I can see he's a long way away from the scrum. See that big gap there on the left-hand side? Canterbury scrum. Lots of options here with a very, very deep back line on the right. So we see the fullback, Daryl Gibson, moving down to the short side. So there could be something well on the short side, unless it's a decoy to drag the defence, the Auckland defence, across there, which gives them more room in the open side.
Surridge tries to make ground, but it's been well read by the Blues. They've turned it over. Christian got the pass back to Spencer, pushing it forward. Ralph's after it. Flynn getting back. And what excellent defence from Aaron Flynn. One of the unsung heroes of this Crusaders side throughout 1998. But he took over from Justin Marshall.
Yes, unsung for sure, but he's had a great effect on the game because he's allowed Andrew Mertens to call the tune. Here he is in great cover defence, as a halfback should be, and just nudges it into touch. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes under a lot of pressure today from the Auckland pack. I'm sure their attack will be based around Flynn and Mertens, putting pressure on those two. If they can break up that partnership, it'll give them a great chance of winning this game.
Let's go ground level to Brent Anderson.
Certainly is, Murray. Just in that last scrum, great work.
Just losing Buck Anderson for the moment. We'll tidy that up, but Robin Brook with a clean take. Pop back again to Tanu'u. The Blues have had all the ball so far, but the Crusaders are a strong tackling side. Stensness away to Caleb Ralph, the replacement for Jonah Lomu. Very, very quick out on the left wing side, but they've lost it here. The Crusaders, like terriers, are onto the loose ball. And Flynn digs it out for Mertens. He's got the breeze behind him in the first half. Cashmore anticipated the kick. Vindiri on Berryman. Cashmore is free out on the right wing side. That'll be a real battle, that. Vindiri and Berryman.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? That's the end of Merton's kick. Berryman having a little go. This man's dangerous. He's on top of his game at the moment, Adrian Cashmore. But a good result for Canterbury at the end. We saw Mertens kicking the ball for the first time for space. Now that's going to be a battle in itself, Mertens and Cashmore, because Cashmore's positional play, his anticipation is so good.
Hammett's first throw to Maxwell is accurate. First chance here for the backs. Mertens doubles round. Gibson places it nicely. Still inside their own territory near the 10-metre line. Away for Berryman to have a thump at the defence. 5 metres on his own side of halfway. Flynn away for Robertson, and he knocked it on.
Yes, well, All Black trial aspirants don't like to do that in the big game. One thing about All Black trialists is they've got to be able to front under pressure. Hard luck. Not easy for an open side to start the game with the first touch of the ball going to ground. Well, we saw a little shimmy and movement from the Canterbury backs there. A nice little double round. Saw a set play move.
Rush off to Spencer. Spencer and Ralph. Another big tackle from Gibson. That's two. Both on Caleb Ralph. Looking dangerous. Olo Brown straight at Hammett. Near the 22-metre line. Pops back again for Tanu'u. Change of direction. Michael Jones tries to get away from Blackadder. The captain chases him down. 10 metres out. Tanu'u. Robin Brook to Stensness. Tried to push it through straight to Mertens. They've got it back. Cashmore. Vindiri and Berryman. Big tackle from Norm Berryman. And the ball lost forwards.
They were pretty skinny on the outside, Canterbury, that time. Berryman did really well to pull him into touch. It was good of Vindiri to try and keep the ball alive. I hate it when I see a winger dying with the ball in touch. It used to be a habit 10 or 15 years ago. It's been removed now. I think the first man that emphasised that was John Hart with the Auckland team. He used to really emphasise wingers keeping the ball alive, passing it back in. Of course, he had John Kerwin to work with, and he was a hard man to stop on the touchline. He was big and he could pass over the top, back into those loose forwards that for years had struggled to get wide.
Just down in front of me, a possible sign of the unfamiliarity with one another in the Auckland front row. James Christian there penalised for not putting his head in, allowing the Crusaders to clear.
So out it goes towards halfway. Well, it's been the Auckland Blues with most of the ball so far. This has been a top start. James Christian, 6 games in the NPC for Auckland last season, and thrust into the big time. Christian gets a throw right for Robin Brook to tap off the top. They've looked dangerous out wide. Here's Vindiri with his pace. He's got Ralph on the outside. Jabs a little kick forward. Meyerhoffler to try and save. Gets to his feet well. Excellent work by Mark Meyerhoffler. And Mertens getting back into possession. He wants to try and open it up. In goes the little kick. Referee's going to play the advantage. They were offside, the Auckland Blues.
Yes, well, that was offside, the man attacking Mertens. Mertens ran to space, and there seemed to be players well up over the advantage line. One was Stensness. I'm not sure who the first was.
One thing we could see very clearly down here at ground level, Andrew Mertens saw Paddy O'Brien put his arm out to signal advantage.
Auckland Blues backs quite outstanding in the first 10 minutes. Mertens kicks an absolute shocker. Trapped by Christian. Tanu'u. Spencer. And he ran straight into Olo Brown, accidentally offside. That's another nice break for the Crusaders.
Yes, Carlos Spencer's looking dangerous, isn't he? Tremendous. Every time he's got the ball, he's looked dangerous. He's beaten countless players already early in the game, but Auckland seem to have all the balls. That's why they've been putting so much pressure on them, Grant. They seem to have had probably, well, there it is, 68%. It seems like more than that.
Crusaders just hanging on in the first 10 minutes. Tonu'u getting round. Across the face, or not too much coordination in the passing of the Canterbury backs at the moment. Ball is on the Crusaders side. Now Mertens is in a bit of space. He can run here. He's got support here from James Kerr. Kerr and Ralph and Tonu'u. Who's the fastest? At the moment it's Kerr. Kerr and Ralph. Ralph got his hand to it first. And what's the call? 22. It's a 22. Caleb Ralph with the explosive pace.
Now this is incredible, isn't it? Caleb Ralph, an exponent of sevens rugby, very quick to turn on a sixpence and then pass James Kerr. A try-saving dive at the end there, magnificent performance. Would have been interesting to see Jonah in the same position. Would have been a hard call for a big man like Jonah to spin around like this man did and then to recover and save the day.
Tremendous save by Caleb Ralph. James Kerr, who played for the Blues in '96, wouldn't he just love to open the scoring in the '98 final for the Crusaders? Norman Maxwell, outstanding take as the Crusaders grab some early possession. Flynn goes the short way through, carried on by Blackadder as the Blues have to regroup. That was Mark Mayerhofer in there, and here's an opportunity for the first points as the Crusaders have this penalty in a handy position.
It's really the key, isn't it, for the Crusaders to be able to beat Auckland. They actually have to put them on the back foot. This is where Auckland is on the back foot here. They're just sort of hanging on. Crusaders clearly in control of those last 2 or 3 phases. And it's the hallmark of their game this year too, is to put real heat on the opposition when you've got the ball, be active with the ball in hand, to take it forward when it's on, to take it forward. They make good decisions and they're all together. There's so many players over the ball protecting that ball when they've got it. But at the moment, to date, they just haven't had enough ball.
So, first opportunity. Pushed it away to the right. Still no score in the final.
Yes, and on the balance of play, it would have been 3-0 to Canterbury if he kicked that goal, and that would have been against the run.
Kick-off is made. Tonu'u frees it away for Spencer, who's been dangerous so far. Robertson makes an excellent save this time. Hammett is after it.
Went forward.
Well, it's numbers to the ball, getting that scrum. Those are the 50-50 calls. Weight of numbers driving forward. Canterbury ball, great attacking position. Well, I guess a few years ago you'd see Mertens having a drop kick for goal, but that won't even enter his head at this moment. Everybody's looking for tries, and that's the excitement that has been so good about the Super 12.
Fellas, hold it. Just get low. Engage.
Well, look at Surridge at the back there. Obviously, he's going to detach. So they've got a set move, and we saw a few seconds ago on the wide angle, Berryman wide. There it is, big gap. So I'm picking Surridge with a scrum move here on the short side. So what's that? That's working at Vinduri's defence. Maybe they've decided there's a weakness there on defence. See, what he's trying to do is a little left-eye move. There it is.
Now they've got it. Berryman on Vinduri. Michael Jones got across very, very quickly to help out. Crusaders mauling this, or trying to. They're going to turn it over.
It was a magnificent camera angle for all the viewers at home there. You could actually see the Auckland arms get around that ball before it hit the deck, therefore stealing the loose head to put in. Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to clear the ball from the scrum to give Norman Berryman a crack at Vindiri one-on-one. But what they're having trouble with, of course, is clearing the ball from the scrum quickly.
Now Rush detaches for Tonu'u. Vindiri's ranging wide again, looking for the speedster Ralph. He flipped it back to Cashmore. Just near the 22, they work it back to Tonu'u. Forced to go to his boot for one of the few times today, and Berryman's happy to let it go. But the Auckland Blues keeping the ball in hand, even if it's inside their own 22.
Yes, Carlos Spencer had to do that, really. I'm sure they didn't want to kick it, but he was looking for some support. Well run by Vindiri. Somehow the ball was stolen there, but Cashmore came away with it. See, he's still looking to do something.
Well, just a little note on the conditions, fellas, because at the moment the Auckland Blues are playing into, I think, quite a stiff little westerly wind here, and I think that was evident there with Tanu'u's kick. I thought it held up quite markedly, so maybe the Crusaders will want some points by half-time.
Yes, no doubt about that, Smithy. It is a significant breeze pushing in the line out, and I wonder whether this is too far for Andrew Mertens. I suspect it is, even with the strong breeze behind him.
So, Buck, did you pick up what happened in that line-out? I think Robertson was pushed at the back, wasn't he? No, it's Surridge. Here he goes up. Looks like Robin Brooks' big right hand to me.
Just doing some running repairs on Buck Anderson's microphone. We'll have him with us shortly. He's across on the far side of the ground, just where the players are at the moment. Flynn under a bit of pressure, being harassed by Royce Willis, who has had a magnificent Super 12 season, the Waikato man. Tonu'u, Spencer, chased by Mertens, who pulled out of the tackle. Now Clark. Tonu'u for Cashmore. He keeps it fairly low into the winds. Berryman going back. Just got rid of it in time. Gibson. He's isolated, has to play it. Now Rush. Kick and chase. Matson back. Rush makes the tackle. Big chance here for the Blues.
Canterbury there in numbers, though, saving the situation.
And Mertens gets rid of it. Not as far as the touchline. Down to Spencer. Spencer on Napier. But the forwards closed. Maxwell was there. And they set it about 12 metres out. Stensness goes into play at halfback. Tonu'u is at first 5'8". Robin Brook straight to Vindiri. Defence holds just near the 22. It's there again for the Blues. They want Olo Brown to set it somewhere near midfield for them, which opens up a decent-sized blindside. They'll keep coming though. Willis runs a dummy. Ralph tries to slip a couple. Carter. Tonu'u. Ridden down by Matson. Crusaders having to come up with tackle after tackle. Carter to Ralph. Brook looks for Vindiri. Robin Brook playing out in the centres a lot in this game. Yet another penalty.
I was just...
Referee playing an advantage. The Blues went back 10 metres, but they bought themselves some time. The old ploy.
The old ploy for sure, the tactics. However, they did maintain possession really well, the Blues, stretching the Canterbury defence on both sides of the field. But the Canterbury defence was up to it, I will say. They do have great pride in their defence. It's interesting, the philosophy of teams in the Super 12, the winning teams in Super 12. They play, when they have the ball, in a very positive manner, very assertive manner. They want to use the ball. But they do put great emphasis on their defence. Canterbury really have announced it publicly. Defence is the big thing for us. We back ourselves in this area. .20 minutes into the game, still no score.
Maxwell with a clean take. Crusaders in control of it. Flynn to Mertens, Meyerhoffler to Gibson. Not running onto the ball at the same speed that the Blues are at the moment.
Blue drove it forward. Blue drove it forward.
Now, isn't that an interesting decision? Paddy O'Brien saying Blue driving it forward, therefore Blue get the ball. Obviously, Blue were killing the ball. Canterbury, instead of driving over it, decided to ruck. So have a look when it's closed up. It looks like it's Canterbury ball. They started driving. Now the last two guys all of a sudden start to ruck instead of driving. Had they driven at that stage, they probably would have got the scrum.
Rush away for Tonu'u. Again, the defence closes him down. Ball lost forward by the halfback. And it'll be a scrum. Crusaders ball. Both defences holding. A lot of people, I think, anticipating a high-scoring final. Certainly hasn't started that way.
Yes, even Robbie Deans, I spoke to him before the game. He said, well, we'll know by the time this game's out. It'll be clear-cut to one team or the other.
Surridge, high for Mertens, sees a big gap. Rush was able to close him down using good pace. So Flynn gives it up to Maxwell. Probably going the wrong way, ran out of support. Then it was up to Thorne and now Blackadder. So Flynn, Matson flings it across to Gibson in centre field. Looking to get involved as often as possible. Meyerhoffler takes it back to Berryman. Christian cuts him down. The young fellow makes a strong tackle on Norm Berryman. Well read there by Royce Willis. He knew exactly where that pass was going. But the Crusaders still have it. James Kerr positions himself behind. Easily past Robin Brooke. Look at Auckland. There's hardly any players in the ruck. They're all across the field. It's almost impossible to breach this defence. Just have a look and see how many get committed to this maul.
Yes, and I'm also noticing that they're not getting back into position, and their backs aren't getting back into position for those pieces of ruck ball as they have in previous matches. So the toll has been taken already on the Canterbury backs. A little bit of fatigue set in. Sorry, Buck.
Very aware down here at ground level. The Auckland Blues organising their defence, and on their left that time they had numbers 6, 5 and 4 all lined up ready to make tackles. They're just not going to let Canterbury through.
Mertens goes to the air. He goes to Berryman's side. Venderi back, and he got a fingertip on it too. So that is going to be a Crusaders throw. Well, they're desperately trying to get it across to Norm Berryman's wing. He's one of the form players in the competition, and I think they like their chances out there.
Well, it's fairly obvious they're trying to give him some ball, give him an opportunity against Venderi. So that's a little interesting matchup for everybody at home to look at too, because these guys, of course, are competing in a trial in about a week's time for an All Black side and an All Black A side. And they're two of the form wingers in the competition for sure.
Reuben Thorne with the clean take. Making a metre or so, they've lost the ball forward.
Well, I just saw a nice little aside there. I saw Robin Brooke push Norman Maxwell down on the deck. It was like the old campaigner saying, move aside, Sonny, you're not there yet. Although I think he's a real comer, Norman Maxwell.
That's against the Crusaders. Free kick. Opportunity, rather belatedly, to welcome viewers in Australia through Fox and Channel 7, Mnet in South Africa, Sky Sport in Britain, ESPN Star in Asia, and Fox in both North and South America. As the ball goes down to the Canterbury Crusaders, it's brought back by Gibson. Ball taken away by the Blues. Spencer with a kick ahead. Berryman's up after it, and he does the sensible thing.
I guess he did that because of what happened last week. It's a dangerous ploy, of course, to wait for the ball to bounce into touch. Gibson having a crack, not making it. Somehow the ball wasn't set up correctly. I think he fell wrong. and Auckland came away with it, like they do so often. You see, this is a great little contest here between these two teams. Who can win the battle for the loose ball, that scrappy 50-50 ball?
One of the things about that piece of play, Murray, just right out in front of us, was the way Lee Stensis turned him, and then Carlos Spencer went in to act as loose forward to secure the ball for Auckland.
Look at Royce Willis. Tackle by Surridge. Now Stensness releases up to Christian, and his pass is knocked on by Clark. And mistakes coming on both sides. Straightforward pass. And Mr. Consistent, really, Ronnie Clark knocks it on.
Was that Michael Jones taking that ball? Well, he's a man of many talents. He's now become a line-out forward.
Well, I guess it's just another miracle in a career of miracles that he's even on the park again today.
It's extraordinary to use that word with the man, isn't it? But it's apt. Well, I'm intrigued to see what Canterbury are going to do from here. They've split their back line on both sides here, and they're deep inside their 22, or just inside their 22, a crucial stage in the game. Will Mertens kick it, or will they have a little bit of a go?
They've also swapped wingers. Kerr's gone across to the left. Berryman's come to the right. Neither of these two facts really matter much at the moment because the ball's in touch, but looks like they are going to move the wingers from left to right. We've been like the All Blacks have done in recent years.
Yes, I don't suspect that was a planned move. I don't suspect that was supposed to have been kicked to touch there. I can't really understand why Mayhoffler would be kicking the ball instead of Mertens. So maybe their intentions were to run.
Michael Jones again. Clark delays the pass. Cashmore crowded back in field and not likely to get that one back either. It's coming on the Crusaders side, and they'll get it anyway, I suspect.
Yes, now Paddy O'Brien couldn't see that. He was on the blind side. Our camera could see it much more clearly, and we saw a classic example of Scott Robertson actually killing that ball and not trying to play it. With a bit of luck, we'll see it clear. Have a look at Scott Robinson. He killed the ball beautifully, so he did the right thing. Then he took his hand off it, and then you see Cashmore. See, he took his hand there. Cashmore pulled it through. Cashmore should have been the guy penalised.
Down here on the touchline, just speaking with Robbie Deans, the Crusaders, a bit of an injury worry. That's why Norm Berryman's over the side. He's not too good. Daryl Lilly going on, holding his right hamstring appears to be the problem.
Spencer deciding, or Auckland deciding not to kick the goal. Yes, well, that's a long-standing injury, I think. Berryman's been carrying an injury with his hamstring for a while, and it looks like he's out of it, and Daryl Lilly's on. Big disappointment for Crusaders fans and for Norm Berryman.
Here's Junior Tonu. Big service to his backline since his injury. You've noticed the last couple of passes he's given the Auckland backs a great opportunity, a bit of space.
Christian's throwing to the line-out has been very, very good.
So look for this ball to be cleared wide from Tonu.
Kerr has stayed out on the left wing for the Crusaders against Vindiri. Oh, what a thump from Mayhoffler. Some wonderful defence from the Crusaders. That's that aggressive defence that they started in the NPC last season.
Yes, it's known as offensive defence, but that's how you turn a ball over. Have a look at this, it's classic. Auckland having no chance. Stensis trying to do a move, drilled, and then the next man was drilled also. And the result of that is Canterbury get the ball and a chance to relieve.
Part of that was Mayhoffler just never took his eye off the ball, although Stensis showed it, kept his eye on the ball and then drilled him.
There's Mayhoffler, who's so strong on that left boot. Cashmore has read it well. Away to Ralph. Again, the defence closes quickly. Robertson made the tackle, and the ball was lost forward.
Scrum red ball.
They really are a wonderful defensive side. Norm Berryman, he'll be terribly disappointed. Great opportunity to show his wares in the final this afternoon, and an injury has put him on the bench. Surridge traps it, runs straight into Jones. Not too many people slip through the tackles of Michael Jones. Flynn delivers high for Mertens. Matson, halfway line and not released.
Well, that's Auckland defence to the fore. Tremendous. It was almost like tit for tat. Give it back to Canterbury here. Have a look at this. He's a big man, Matson. Stensis pulled him down, and then the next man drove over, and they won the ball. Or the penalty, should I say.
The kick has missed touch, and Kerr's gone all the way back. Now, he might be just a bit worried about this one. If this goes dead, it's not going to go dead. That's pinpoint.
And Cashmore's back there by himself. Once, about the only time this year you've seen Cashmore by himself. That's where they say good Auckland. Their men drop back and support. So they immediately have support for the player with the ball.
Quickly to Eroni Clark. Spencer frees it up for Carter. Carter looking to free Vindiri. And he didn't release either.
Same players go, please. No, let it go.
This might be a shot at goal for Andrew Mertens. It's a long way out, but in a tight game, worth a go.
Yeah, Carter doing what he thought was the right thing, going through the hole, trying to set it up. He was well tackled with the ball on the wrong side, and that's where he made the mistake. He tried to lift the ball up. That was the second bite of the apple. And Paddy O'Brien said, you can't do that, lad. The rules are against it. And awarded a penalty. Quite right.
Yes, 196 points for Andrew Mertens. Wayne Smith.
With better sunglasses this week. Back into the 90s, Smithy. Good stuff.
You had him on about him last week. He got embarrassed, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, well, apparently the message, but apparently the Ray-Ban rep rang and said, we'd like to put you in some modern glasses, so everybody's winning.
What a good kick from Andrew Mertens. And we're underway finally. With 9 minutes to go to half-time, the Crusaders lead by 3-0.
So Graham Henry looking a little bit concerned, but I guess he looks like that in every game he plays. Most coaches do, don't they? Funny thing, that.
Spencer with the kickoff. Remember, the Crusaders have the advantage of a goodly breeze in the first spell. Surridge, who's come back to form in recent weeks, but he's turned it over. Having just said that, Stanstis for Clark. Back come the Blues. Right in centre field, and there's a knock-on by one of the Blues forwards.
Last step forward, that'll do.
And it might have been Craig Down, I think. Disappointed, big chance.
Well, that's what I love about Auckland. You know, you give them a little wee sniff of a ball and they really punish, don't they? I mean, that was beautiful from Stensis, you know. And when he got the pass, it was so flat. It was desperately flat, but they had the timing, the panache to make something of it. And didn't they do just that? Spoiled at the end with a knock-on.
Mertens. Way down behind Vindiri again. Lovely kick. Some much better timing from Mertens. His first kick of the day was a shocker. Couldn't put it out.
He's got a sense of humour, this young man. He arrived at the ground today, and of course when players step off the bus, everybody's looking at their feet and it's all rather sombre. I was standing by the door and Mertens said to me, it's a bit like a funeral, isn't it?
Very relaxed character before a game. Christian goes to the back where he finds Brook, but it's not straight this time.
Red, what is it? Skipper! Number 6. 6, scramble.
Yes, well, it was almost on the right-hand side of the Auckland line, that one. Paddy O'Brien fairly lenient on line-out throws normally. Good referee, this.
Flynn flings it out to Mark Meyerhoffler.
Look at that ball to Auckland.
Stolen again. So Stensness looking for Rush into his opposite number, but now Robin Brook. Crusaders reckon they've turned him over. I think they have too. So Meyerhoffler gets another go.
Well, that's an interesting kick, isn't it? A little bit too deep, I suspect.
Quickly taken by Cashmore. Looking for Vindiri. Open field play. Danger time. Thorne. Flung away by Carter. Referee playing an advantage. It's against Mayer, offside.
Here we go.
Auckland are great at this. Look at this. Cashmore running wide, nowhere to go. And look at this late cut to Vinduri. Of course, the Fijians are the best exponents of the cut in the world. You see it on the sevens field all the time. Tremendous.
And it's the confidence Adrian Cashmore has just to quickly tap and go. He's way back on defence, all his players in front of him, but confidence, tap it, go, and link up.
Advantage being played by Paddy O'Brien. There was interference in the line-out. It's in favour of the Blues. Here's the pass popped up again for Clark.
On the ground, get out of it.
Yes, playing the ball on the ground. It was great defence by Canterbury. There were 3 men on. Auckland just about getting through it.
Michael Jones felt that maybe the advantage hadn't gone long enough, as the penalty in the end went to the Crusaders, and Mertens drives them back towards the 22.
Well, Louis, see if we can have a look at it here. Nice little pass to yourself. But probably delaying it a little bit for the move, and he did run into defence. Now, see that? Is it? Well, very hard to see it on camera, actually, but I thought he played it twice on the deck, which I think was the penalty.
Certainly was. Murray player just lying on the ground playing the ball. The secret in amongst all that, because 2 Canterbury players came in what appeared the wrong side, but they were the only ones on their feet, so there was no ruck.
Taken off the top by Maxwell for Napier. Blackadder onto Flynn. Dragged down by Brown. Blackadder goes straight through but runs into his own man.
Ooh, very difficult call, that one. Blackadder it's the pick and go, they call it. And he must have touched one of his players on the way. It's a tough one, though, I feel. This is good hands from Blackadder. Flynn setting it up. Now let's have a little look at this. Blackadder over the top and through the centre. Yes, he ran into Stewie Lowe, but it's a tough call, isn't it? I mean, that happens so often in the pick and go.
Couldn't agree more. I don't think Stu Lowe was stopping any of the Auckland players getting anywhere near Todd Blackadder there, so it should have been let go.
Just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Just the penalty goal by Mertens so far.
Good control by Rush. He's a player that I said before the game that the jury's still out on Rush. We haven't quite seen enough of him, but we've seen a couple of touches today. He pulled off a great tackle on Andrew Mertens behind the advantage line, and that's what number 8's have got to do. They've got to have the speed to do that. There he goes. Now he's a facilitator. Good stuff.
Stensness in space. Spencer gave it away to James Kerr. In years gone by, Spencer and Kerr would have been okay, but at the moment they're in different teams.
Yes, of course, James Kerr, formerly from Gisborne, and now he's up here, of course, in Auckland. In fact, no, he's not up here in Auckland, he's down in Christchurch. But he's had a little spell in Auckland. He'll be playing NPC, perhaps, for Auckland.
No, I think it's, in fact, he's staying in Canterbury, Murray, but, yep, I can give you a life history if you like. Born in Sydney, brought up in Gisborne, played for Auckland, now in Canterbury.
He's a rolling stone.
Tonu'u's kick is too wide and out on the full.
Born in Sydney, don't tell the Aussies, they'll claim him.
They've got Manny Edmonds, born in Ashburton.
That's the first time I saw him on the screen, Manny Edmonds. I thought that guy's a Maori for sure from Ashburton, or a part Maori.
Just over a minute to half-time. It's been the Crusaders who've had a stiffish breeze in the first half. Still waiting for the first try of the final as Maxwell rises high. Napier delivers to Flynn. Robertson and now Meyerhoffler quickly through the hands but not making too much ground.
Great bit of Canterbury control there by guiding them with their feet.
Mertens again to the air. Towards the Vinduri wing once more. Ball pops up. Referee playing another advantage as the ball is lost forward by the Blues.
It's just so tight, it's so competitive, it's so keen, isn't it, between these two teams? The team with the ball seem to be doing so well, and yet the defence seems to be doing so well too. It's almost like they're cancelling each other out. And I guess with 39 minutes into the game, I wonder what the last 15 or 20 will be like.
Surridge off the back. Flynn. Here's Kerr. Again, the tackles are all made by the Blues. He didn't let it go. So the Blues team for a penalty. Spencer sends it away downfield.
Yes, well, James Kerr was having a go through the hole, as you'll see. And there he is, he's holding on to it too long for Paddy O'Brien. Good decision. And Auckland electing this time to kick it into touch. They're thinking, OK, we've got 30 seconds left. That's enough for a quick light out of the try in the right-hand corner.
Danger time for the Crusaders, as we say it every time. But oh, hello, the ball's been handed straight to the Crusaders. So Todd Blackadder.
Right here. Yeah, I found that difficult to understand, that decision. I would have thought it would have gone the other way to Auckland there. But can you enlighten us?
Just seemed that Royce Willis was down on the ground and just holding on to the ball. Hammett goes in with some pretty vigorous footwork on him, but Royce Willis killing the ball, and he's just had a wee mucker to referee as he goes past Royce Willis, not happy with the decision.
Let's have another look at this. Royce Willis is lying on the wrong side, or close to it.
Yes, well, you have to be there to know what really went on. So often that's the case. You never really know sitting on the sideline what goes on at the bottom of a ruck. It's a lovely place to be. It's not, actually.
Yes, the second look at it, I think Robin Brooke may have been a bit of a guilty party in there, the way the eyes went up looking at the referee to see which way the decision went.
Ball not thrown straight, and that is the end of the first half. We've had no tries in the first half of the Super 12 final, just a penalty goal by Andrew Mertens. And at the break, the Crusaders lead at the Auckland Blues by 3 points to 0.
Yes, it's been very keenly contested this first half. Equal honours, I think, to both teams, really. It's been a game of both teams are trying to attack and both teams are trying to defend. Of course, that's what rugby's about, but they've done it well, both sides. We've seen some fine examples of individuals and team play, but really neither team to take advantage or to take the game at this stage. And it's probably as we expected. It's going to be a close encounter, and I'm sure the second half will tell the story.
Yes, it's been a real final so far. Just the one scoring play, a penalty by Mertens, and the visitors, the Crusaders, lead in the Super 12 final by 3-0. Super 12 final, 1998. And the Crusaders with a Mertens penalty, leading at half-time by 3 points to 0. There's the man who scored the only points in the first half. It's been a tight contest. And just after we get underway, we'll find out from Buck Anderson what the two coaches had to tell their sides as Paddy O'Brien is about to get us started in the second half. Bright sunshine again at Eden Park, but still the breeze blowing, and it's behind the home side in the second spell. So we're about to have the last 40 minutes of the Super 12 season. That's, of course, as long as we don't need extra time in this game, as Carlos Spencer gets us going. Ball claimed by Mark Hammett. Into the 41st minute, no try scored in the match so far, and Mertens has it sliding off the side of the boot. Chance to go sideline to Buck Anderson.
Down here on the sideline chatting with both teams' coaches straight after half-time. Peter Sloan, he wants his team to hold on to the ball for long periods of time, and the other message he gave them is something about desire. How much do you want this game? How much do you want to be Super 12 champions? Auckland Blues coach Graham Henry, he wants them to get the ball wide off, and they've looked good when they've got it wide. Hold on to the ball, use the conditions, play it at the eastern end of Eden Park.
Blues in control of it. Jones delivers up to Carter. Thorne takes him in centre field. Tanu'u, pass in front of Spencer. So Stensness has to go back. Look for him to accelerate. Here he goes. Lee Stensness and James Christian comes up with the first try off the break by Lee Stensness.
Magnificent for this young man, freshly back from England, to take the place of the Sean Fitzpatrick, who had a mortgage on it for so many years. But have a look at Lee Stensness, superb. He spotted the gap right through the centre, and there aren't too many of those in the Canterbury team. Gave the pass at the right time, and the hooker had the gas to get to the line. Great try, Lee Stensness, brilliant. You'll see him more individually here with a close-up. Bissing meeting 2 tackles, and now the perfect pass.
Hasn't he got a turn of pace? The young fellow, the 20-year-old hooker, James Christian. And really, the Stensness move came from absolutely nothing, Murray.
Well, in fact, he only had to chop back because the Canterbury defence was so flat, so up, and he headed back towards the forwards. And you've got to have great vision when you head towards a whole lot of players, because so often you can't see the hole. And the hole was there, he found it, and he took advantage of it.
He certainly did, Murray. Looked up and Mark Meyerhofer had got between him and his support, and so he just accelerated into that hole. Once he got in a couple of steps and he's away, and beautiful timing of the pass to give Christian that straight run in under the black dot.
A real wake-up call for the Crusaders. We didn't have a try in the first half. The Blues have started strongly. Onto the boot of Daryl Gibson. I think he's overcooked this. Yes, he has.
Well, electric start for the Blues. Magnificent. That's the way to do it, isn't it? When the game seems evenly poised, enter the Blues. For so many years they've done it in the Super 12, and they're doing it again today in the second half of the final.
Junior Tanu'u back to full fitness after a shaky start to the Super 12 season with injury. The man of the moment, though, James Christian, has the ball in hand. Robin Brook back towards the back of the line out.
Good little drive, safe and secure. The ball's at the back there, away from those Canterbury hands. That's 10-15 metres they've taken so far, and now the set up and quick ball to the backs.
Stensness, Mertens holds on to him, but look at this blue machine starting to roll. Comes out for Tanu'u, Vindiri.
Vindiri turned the wrong way, could be Canterbury ball. Yes, it is. He has to be offside.
Now it opens up, trying to get it out as far as Lilly. Lilly challenged by Ralph. Darryl Lilly, of course, on for Norman Berryman.
See them turn Vindiri or keep him on their side, and the ball just sneaks out to Canterbury. Actually, Canterbury a bit tough there, I thought. The Auckland backs were up offside. They scrambled out of it, but they wouldn't want to line out here, Auckland ball. And this is where we've seen the Auckland drive in the past.
They've turned it up in the second half, there's no doubt about that. The referee playing advantage. The Blues way. Now, Tanu'u wants to go blindside. Flings it back inside to Dowd. They've got it out as far as Stensness. Danger man, they have cut him down this time. But they've still got it under control. Cashmore, the little nudge. Vindiri with all the pace. Lilly coming across. And Lilly makes the save.
Intense pressure on the Canterbury line. Intense pressure on the defensive line after the try. And the defensive line held.
Mertens, big drop kick. Oh, well done, Andrew Mertens. Some real relief there for the Crusaders.
And it will be a real test of the Crusaders' character, won't it? Whether they can absorb the pressure that Auckland's been throwing at them. They'll suddenly find themselves behind and they have to come back.
Yes, and after pressure like that, it's hard to have the composure when you have the opportunity. And that's where they have been stronger. In fact, both these teams are very strong at that. Irrespective of how much pressure they've been under, as soon as they get the ball, they can just turn it on.
Change being made. Tony Marsh for Tambai Matson. So Wayne Smith has pulled a change, 6 minutes into the second half.
It's a courageous call too, because Matson's been a player of the Super 12, hasn't he? Earned himself a position in the All Black squad for the trials, and there's Wayne Smith pulling him off. But this guy, Tony Marsh, he's had a great impact whenever he's come on.
Blues have the ball. The Crusaders found the man that had it and drove him to the deck. Now Tonu'u, Spencer in space. Tonu'u, Vindiri's close to him. And into touch they go. Well, they're able to create something out of nothing. That's exactly what happened here.
Well, Carlos Spencer, wasn't it? He did the damage. Junior, no one to pass to. Good D, though.
Well, I wonder whether Graham Henry's told me some porkies at half-time, because I've looked to drive from line-outs and then find the holes in round the sides rather than split it wide, and it's working very well for them.
Tonu'u, Spencer, Clark, 22, Crusaders territory. Brook tries to get rid of and almost does. Kevin Napier, now Christian again. The blue wave continues. Rush. The 20-year-olds getting involved. Rush and Christian. Now they've got a bit of a lineup. Back to Carter. Pops out again for Tonu'u. Fires it to Clark. Looking for Vindiri. And he loses it. Joeli Vindiri.
Well, he was sandwiched in the tackle at the same time. But Auckland definitely putting big pressure on Canterbury here. Just keeping it on.
Just tremendous work there from Steve Surridge in that tackle. He sort of came off the ruck, covered across on the inside, as good number 8 should, put in a big hit on Vindiri.
Surridge takes it off the back.
Got to be confident to detach from that position as a number 8.
Mertens is deep in the end goal area, and his kick into the breeze is not bad.
If you detach from your own goal line and you're not absolutely sure you're going to have your flankers up your backside, you're in trouble. But Canterbury were true then. And this man here, Surridge, he drove, he made the advantage line, and they drove over the top, relieving the pressure. Good effort. The intensity in the eyes, the intensity of battle. Can they keep the heat on? Can Canterbury get out of it? Those are the questions we must ask.
Not such a good throw this time from Christian. So the Crusaders have it. Here's Robertson. Fires it back for Mertens. Meyerhofer in midfield. Goes after Stensness. Now to A for Blackadder. Turns it back to Flynn. Oh, big defence again. Napier. Some gang tackling here from the Blues. There's no space at the moment for the Crusaders. Mertens trying to find some room for Lilly. Again, they can't do it. Tonu'u grabs it.
Well, it was stolen by Auckland. It was a turnover, and then Canterbury forcing them into touch. Interesting to look at those stats at half-time, seeing a turnover of 13 from the Blues and 12 from the Crusaders. That's been the hallmark of this contest. It's so even. Normally when you see a lot of turnovers, there's a lot of mistakes. I don't think it is. In this game, it's been great work of achieving a turnover by the opposition.
Yes, they've really worked for them, haven't they? And Junior Tonu'u there, he worked for that. He just snaffled in around the side of that. He knew he wouldn't be offside to claim it.
Hammett to Blackadder. Had to reach a long way across on the Blue side to grab that.
And just
Turnover. No, you hit it.
Favourable call for Graham Henry's side here.
have a look at this line out. From the front angle, not as good as it was from the other angle, but that's a classic example of a line out forward wanting to take the line out, really wanting the ball, reaching, stretching. Todd Blackadder, fantastic effort.
To Afisa Tonu'u at the moment, he's really organising the defence, just screaming at his forwards where to go from that particular phase of play.
Good scrum moving forward. Pass gets as far as Stensness. Vanderi's coming quickly, but this is into touch.
Well, as we look at this kick from Stensness, what a great start he's had to the second half, Murray. I'll be interested in your thoughts on the young blokes in the Auckland side. So much talk about the likes of Robin Brooke and Olo Brown and Craig Dowd standing out today, but it's the young fellas, the Willises, the Christians, Xavier Rush is having a big one as well.
Well, James Christian was picked by Auckland about a year ago when he was just a babe in arms, so he had to have something special. We didn't see it then, of course, and he sort of disappeared, didn't he? Went out of favour. But he's back, and he's back to stay now. You'll see lots of him in the NPC for Auckland.
Maxwell with the clean take. Mertens, they shift it quickly to Lilly. That's a shocker.
And that's exactly what he didn't want. He didn't want to put the ball out inside his 22, giving Auckland a free throw. And no doubt the inevitable drive from the line-out. I'm sure they'll do that. They've had so much success from it. To Robin Brooke, maybe Royce Willis, and drive 4 or 5 if it opens up the whole way, perhaps. Otherwise, look for the drive and the feed back to the backs.
Easily for Robin Brooke. This looks ominous here for the Crusaders.
And this is when they'll move it.
Tonu'u goes blindside, jabs a little kick in. And Christian it was who'd stayed out there. Well, I think some of the backs out to the right might be saying, hey, what about us?
Yes, but actually Genia Tonu'u would have been the perfect kick had he had a winger outside him. If the winger was in position, that kick was absolutely perfect. But he didn't have a winger, he had a hooker. And the hooker, what did he do? Head for the traffic. Head for inland.
Yes, I'm sure that James Christian didn't understand that Afisa Tonu'u was going to kick there. He was coming back in looking for a cut, and that little stab kick went in. Caleb Ralph on the swing had doubled right round the back. He was nowhere to be seen.
Canterbury medical staff trying to do some running repairs on Mark Mayer-Hoffler, and the referee said off the field. Hammett goes to Blackadder, drags it down well. 13 minutes into the second half. It's been all the Blues as Merton's kick is fielded by Ralph. Flings it immediately to Cashmore. Drop kick from Adrian Cashmore. Crowd like it, and why not? Adrian Cashmore.
Well, you've got to hand it to this man. He's on top of his game well and truly. Sometimes you've got to give a player a go when he's on top. And John Hart has recognised it. He's picked him ahead of Todd Miller in the trial team.
Kick-off made to the far side by the Crusaders. Kicked it away from the forwards. And now there's a 7-point margin in the game.
Yes, it was a crucial kick, but it's exactly 10 metres. The scrum will go right on the 10-metre line. The narrowest of margins these days. The judgment is so acute and so accurate.
And Norm Maxwell's down, just out in front of me. Courageous play from him on that little kick-off. He never took his eyes off the ball, leapt up for it, but he's paying the price now. Looks like he's got an injury to his lower back, probably from when he came down, but he's up and away.
But that's what's going to make this man an All Black of the future. That's what he's done all season. He's claimed the kick-offs and the line-outs. He's got up, he's never flinched, he's looked at the ball, he's sighted it, and he's grabbed it with 2 hands. Not 1, 2 hands.
Surridge hands it off to Tonu'u. He knew the call, I'm sure. Lilly going back, chased by Tonu'u, and it'll be a 5-metre scrum.
Well, that's a bit of Junior Tonu'u magic, isn't it? He anticipated it exactly. They were doing a little move here. And then all of a sudden, Junior said, oh, I'll take it, thank you, and off he went. But not only did he kick it, he pulled off a great tackle here on Lilly. Watch him watch Lilly. Never took his eyes off him, dragged him over the goal line, forced a 5-metre scrum. And what a great opportunity for Auckland here to really nail it home.
Having a go at this Canterbury forward pack.
Going back to the original scrum, Grant Afisa Tonu'u just read the little pop pass from Surridge that was meant for Aaron Flynn doubling round, and he just never got near it. Afisa Tonu'u was off, and that just shows the experienced player versus the inexperienced player.
I think it's fair to say that he's been part of the Auckland resurgence. The Blues team started off pretty scratchy this year. He wasn't playing since he's come back. There has been more organisation. And I think he's come back with a different intention too. Last year, I think you could accuse him of having a go too often. This year, he's moving the ball well. He's giving his backs an opportunity.
Stay there, Blue. Stay. Hurry up, Red. Get into your crouch.
Yes, he just seems to have found that critical balance, has he, between taking it on yourself and feeding your outsides. He's got the mix right.
Clear it, half. Clear it.
Front rows have gone down, so we'll have to reset it.
Junior, of course, doesn't know this, but his old club team, Panigi, had an epic victory today over Petone in Wellington Club Rugby. You'll be pleased to hear that after the game.
I'm pleased to hear it now.
Go and give me crouch. Crouch up. Engage.
So Paddy O'Brien has got the scrums organised, and here we go. The Blues, here they come, trapped at the back, and it's a penalty.
So, wise choice by Paddy O'Brien. The penalty try is awarded if a try is imminent, if he thinks a try is imminent. On that occasion, it was stood 3 metres from the goal line. But Auckland have chosen to take another scrum, so they're backing themselves in the front row, Grant.
But down here in front of me, they really have got the Canterbury Crusaders front row shot to pitch the scrum going down. Fisa Tanu saying we want another one, and those Auckland Blues players, they all got in together and said, let's do it again. They feel they've got the Crusaders scrum really beat.
See the little smile of Tonu at the opposition at the Canterbury front row there? That's a little bit of psychology. We've got your number, he's saying. Didn't say the words.
It starts to screw. Has to be cleared. Tonu'u.
Should have been cleared though.
Spencer goes in, gets taken out, so that'll be a penalty. Playing an advantage. Stensness fires himself at the opposition.
So where's the ball? Is he still playing advantage?
I think it's over. Tonu'u, Spencer, Cashmore, now Vindiri. And they'll go to the line-out. The Crusaders survive.
Yes, the rugby ball is so cruel when it bounces on its end. And that time it didn't bounce for Joeli. But James Kerr was up, couldn't see where the ball was. He had his back turned. It was certainly on. Well, Auckland a little bit unlucky with the pressure they put on the scholar not to score points here. But they're still there.
Angus Gardner, number 21. Is replacing Scott Robertson. So a second tactical sub made by the Crusaders. Angus Gardner hasn't quite got the size, but very mobile.
Yes, he's a terrier. He's a true open side flanker. Scott Robinson has a bit of both, open side and number 8. So I guess the intention of Wayne Smith is we want more turnovers. Let's get a specialist out there as well to target that ball. It's also fresh legs, I guess, into the second half now. 20 minutes to go. Bring on the boy who's chafing at the bit from the sideline. Good use of the bench.
Michael Jones. Big line-out option today for the Auckland Blues. Spencer. Near the 22. Advantage red. They might get a big advantage here as Darryl Lilly's freed on the right wing side. There's support there from Marsh. 5 metres on the Crusader side of halfway. They haven't really been able to get going from broken play today. Mertens hesitates, then does the only thing really possible and puts it away downfield. Cashmore. His kick's not good. Mertens can bring it back the other way. Looking to unload. Finds Meyerhofer in centre field. And they're back where they started. Now Lilly to Tony Marsh. He'll straighten it if possible. Tries to find Maxwell. Can't. Gardner's in there. For the first time, really, the game's starting to open up a little. Flynn tries to duck under Dowd. Stu Lowe.
Stay back. Go back.
Now it's Flynn. A bit disorganised out the back. Gibson. The Blues were waiting.
Yes, they were waiting, but he set it up and it's still on.
Now it's back for Mertens again. To Marsh. Marsh looks for Lilly. Lilly tips it ahead. Ralph. Brook getting back. Tackled hard. And here's a chance as Maxwell brings it. Maxwell! The old legend of Maxwell.
Hold on to your hat, ladies and gentlemen. This game's not over. What a try by a lock forward, Norman Maxwell. Shall we call an opportunist? No one's ever called a lock an opportunist before. Tremendous try. They kept it alive. But it all came from the defence here. Have a look at the tackling. He was going to pass and he's tackled. Robin Brook was passed with the ball and he was tackled. Carlos Spencer was tackled before he kicked the ball. And Norman Maxwell said, well, I'm going to do this myself.
They're never beaten this Crusader side. Look at this terrier-like tackling. And look at the pace from 22-year-old Norman Maxwell.
Great mobility from Maxwell, isn't it? It's one of the features of his game. He just showed great pace. But to me, the try was made by Mark Marhofer, who's been down injured since it happened. His diving commitment to pull Carlos Spencer down and get him, as Carlos Spencer tried to get the ball away in a kick, that spilled it, gave it for Maxwell. He did the rest. But great character too from the Crusaders to come back. They've been down on their own line, defending. They break out and they've nailed 7 points.
The Mertens conversion makes it 10-all as we have another look at it.
But really, Buck, it was a team effort here because there were so many people pulling off crucial tackles. There were 3, and once again, that Canterbury side, they are like a pack of dogs, aren't they, when the ball's skittering around the place. There seems to be numbers there all the time.
Yes, well, that word Peter Sloan used, the desire, and they showed that right throughout the team. Desire to get up there and make those tackles.
Kevin Napier is off the field. Here's Steve Surridge. Blackadder, this could well lift the Crusaders. Flynn, they're hanging on to him. Releases it quickly. It's again on the Crusader side. Gardner, away he goes. Flynn again, challenged by Willis. Mertens flings it wide for Kerr. Vinderi hits him hard. He needs some support. He'll take the touchline though.
Well, it was good work by everybody, wasn't it? Flynn battling to clear the ball.
And just look at the list of replacements already. Lilly was on for Berryman, who was injured. The rest are tactical subs. Marsh, Feek and Gardner. All getting a taste of final football. Graham Henry hasn't gone to the bench yet. 16 minutes left.
Well, he didn't need to go to the bench at 10-3, but he might need to go to it at 10-all.
22-metre line, Crusaders territory. Now it's there for Craig Downs. Stensness with a drop kick, partially charged. 15 up from the 22. And Lee Stensness didn't let it go.
Auckland under pressure, having a go at the drop kick. We haven't seen much of that this year.
What a struggle this is. Mertens kick's not out. Cashmore. Gibson waiting. Inside his 22, and he'll take the mark.
Immediately takes the mark. He looks across to the open side to see how much support he's got. And he saw he had a little bit. He saw Auckland had more. So he goes right hand.
Lilly trying to get it back. Crusaders have walked right over the top of this. The Blues simply couldn't get players there quickly enough. And possession has now tipped in favour of the Crusaders.
No, I'm out. Oh, no. Fellas, please.
It's getting to the nerve-wracking stage. We will have extra time, 10 minutes each way. And at the end of that, if we're still level, the thing's shared.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? We were talking about this last night. What happens if it was equal at full time? Everybody suspected it was going to be so close down to the wire. What a marvellous competition this Super 12 has been. There have been so many teams that could have been in this final, but here they are, the final two, and two that I believe deserve to be there. Although you have to feel sorry for the other two semi-finalists last week. The Sharks outscored Canterbury in their home track, and Otago, of course, won lots of fans here at Eden Park.
Mayhoffler to Marsh, Mertens, Lilly. Backs in. 5 on his own side of halfway. Flynn. It's there for Mark Mayhoffler. Away for James Kerr. Straight at Carlos Spencer he goes.
Turnover.
Crucial defence, Auckland. Turnover. James Kerr electing to have a go through the centre. There was no one else outside and really had to do it. 16-15. It's a game of turnovers won.
And a lovely little touch from Afisa Tamu there. As that ball ruck broke up, he went in and he tapped Carlos Spencer, the man coming up with the ball at the moment, for his good work in there to wrap his body around it and make sure the Crusaders couldn't free it. And that's part of the team spirit that these teams have built up.
Rush. Poor pass to Tanu'u. Did extremely well to his kick away. Gibson. Now Angus Gardner. Injecting a bit of pace. Awkward pass. Clark almost made it on Lilly. Let him get away though. Big penalty awarded by Paddy O'Brien.
Go away.
Daryl Lilly. Protesters protest, but it's a shot at goal.
Well, it was all about Clark anticipating the pass, and he anticipated well and he nailed Lilly. Well, in fact, Lilly nearly slipped. See, Angus Gardner should have pulled that ball in there. A little bit high, Lilly was exposed. He got out of the first one, he got nailed by the second, and obviously he was penalised for holding onto the ball. He doesn't think he did though, but I guess that's life.
So Wayne Smith will have to sit in the grandstand now and watch Adrian Cashmore. Hasn't kicked a penalty so far this afternoon.
Well, what's the bet he kicks it? He's a man on form. Have I got a wager?
No, not at this stage.
TAB man too, Nisbet.
He's nailed it. 11.5 minutes remaining.
He's standing right behind the kick and it never looked like missing, and a bit of a breeze actually blew up just as he started his run in, but he judged it for perfection just outside the right hand upright and it just curled in nicely.
So the Crusaders now have to try and hit back. Maxwell storming up after it, taken down by James Christian. Takes it to the centre. Tonu'u to Stensness. Couldn't find any way that way, so back he goes and finds some enormous wide open spaces. Gibson is back. And his kick is nowhere near out. So Spencer, drop kick from Carlos Spencer. And it's a wobbly old one, and it'll drive them back to a scrum. I don't know, it was a drop kick, of course. Back to the 22 they go.
Still, it wasn't a bad option from Carlos Spencer, was it? If it went over, it was 3 points. But the big thing is, with that little lead of 3 points, with about 10 minutes to go, it's keeping the Crusaders a long way from the scoring end.
Maxwell falls over as Surridge goes in after it. Advantage for Red. So Mertens. Beautifully timed punt again by Andrew Mertens. Look at that.
He had a little bit more time to to really have a go at it. He dropped into positions, he had time, he lined it up, he saw the gap. But look at the positional play of Cashmore. He was there waiting. If it was out by a metre, Cashmore was going to cash in.
But slow to get back, Michael Jones, just from a moment clutching that chest. Sternum injury last week. Maybe it's starting to play up again.
Yes, he's still clutching it even as he got right back to the line out. Sure, it's giving him some pain, but I know, Michael, he won't be coming off. You can bet that unless it's very, very bad.
Tonu'u flings it across to Stensness. Vindiri is taken by Marsh. Ball pops clear.
Well, that was an outstanding turnover by Canterbury.
Flynn can't find any gap, so takes it in.
Fellas, both sides up.
This is a great example of playing the rules. That player there, who was it, Angus Gardner was on his feet, he leant over, it was a tackle ball situation, general play, and he won the ball.
Under 9 minutes left. 3-point advantage for the defending champions. Tonu'u waits, he tips it down, play on, it went straight down, and it's play on now.
Playing the knock on, fellas. Scrub, red.
Well, Paddy O'Brien making a great job of this. He played the advantage there like he has so often in this game. Gave Canterbury a chance to take advantage of it, which they weren't able to do. So they'll settle for a scrum. But mind you, this is a great position to be attacking from. It's absolute centre field. Spread the defence wide.
Mayer Hoffler.
And the gap was too long, wasn't it, to Mayer Hoffler? He had to go by himself. And it was about 7 metres perhaps to the closest player. And he was forced to have a look at this. He set it up okay, no problem there. Where's the next man? 2 Aucklanders. And I think that's Maxwell there that arrived maybe a little bit late. Should have been a Lucy there.
Carlos Spencer with the wind behind him. Should get some good distance here.
Safe and sound from Carlos, which is what they wanted. Auckland line out. The drive's been successful. They'll probably want to do it again. Good to hear some vocal support from the Auckland crowd, Grant.
Yes, getting behind their side. A lot of Cantabs up here as well. And Blair Feeney coming on for the last 7 or 8 minutes. Could be longer, of course, with Mayer Hoffler off. So they lost their strong man in the back line. Robin Brook with a clean take. Oh, and they turned it over there, the Blues. They lost it forwards.
Well, it's an interesting call, isn't it? Blair Feeney is a specialist first 5'8". Canterbury lost the second 5'8". Feeney's moving across onto the right wing, marking Caleb Ralph.
So Darryl Lilly's dropped back to fullback. Gibson has gone into midfield. Here's Mertens. For Gibson, opens up for Daryl Gibson. Supports there from Tony Marsh. Crusaders inside Blues territory. Freed up to Mertens. There's an advantage being played. Feeney on the outside. Dragged down by Rush. And he'll go back for the penalty. Well, the back line changes.
Number 4 in the side.
Didn't act against the Crusaders.
But it was a great move, Grant. Really tremendous. The way Gibson came back on the angle. He's very good at that, of course. It's timing onto the ball is crucial, isn't it, in those situations. And then I was interested to see Marsh linking up with him, so it was definitely a planned move. Have a look at this. Look where Gibson is. Back on the angle, then on the outside. Now he chopped in, fed Marsh, who supported all the way on the inside. So it was a good play. And here's where the penalty came, of course.
It was against Robin Brook. He was the man who was offside. Now Andrew Mertens has kicked some big goals in his time.
Thomas saying to himself, cool, calm and collected Andrew Mertens. I was never worried, but I bet he was. 13 all.
Just watch the reaction on the bench. We'll take it. 13 each.
Unlucky for some.
Nervous times for the coaches. Down as far as Mertens, and he gets rid of it very quickly.
Yes, I'm sure if there's nervous times coming up as we approach the last 4 minutes of the game, the players want to play the game away from their own goalpost, so if they do concede a penalty, it's not kickable into points.
The Blues bench, these guys might be required a bit later. Jason Spice, Lee Lidgard. Willis goes up. Lost it. So Mertens. Marsh crashing himself, but Jones makes a huge hit.
Well, it was a great run, but it was a fantastic tackle. Michael Jones stopping him dead in his tracks. Royce Willis losing the ball somehow, I'm not sure how. The big pass, and have a look at Marsh. Strong, isn't he? How'd you like to stop that? Breaking Carter's tackle, but Jones was there. That's great loose forward defence, isn't it? Carter and Jones together, the ensemble.
Yes, they work superbly. Michael Jones again, the sternum not good. He's very slow to get up. Murray, you're wondering how Royce Willis lost that ball right out in front of him. He snatched it out of the air. It actually came down onto his left knee. That's what popped it free.
Just wait. Take a deep breath.
Marsh, he's very determined. You can see what's in his mind. Michael Jones hit. Yeah, well, you see, that's going to hurt. You've got a sternum problem, that's going to hurt. He put his whole body into him.
What a player, Michael Jones. He wants to be there to see this game out.
Yes, I wonder about the psychology had Michael Jones left the field at this stage with 3 minutes left to go. I'm sure his team will want to do it for Michael.
Flynn takes it away for Marsh. He certainly added something since he's been there. Places on the ground for Flynn to release Mertens. Looking towards the corner. This is a beautiful kick.
Well, it's a beautiful kick, and it's put pressure on Auckland to take the line out ball and drive it, but it's also given Canterbury an opportunity to somehow disrupt, create a problem, perhaps snivel a penalty, perhaps a turnover.
Just a reminder, we will have extra time if they're still equal. 10 minutes each way.
Interesting to see the Canterbury defence. We have James Kerr dropping back with Darryl Lilly, playing two fullbacks at the moment.
Willis goes up, but it's against the Crusaders. They lost it forward.
Yes, it was off at Reuben Thorne's hand. Mark Hammett had run the ball back also.
Down here on the sideline, you'll think you're at Lancaster Park. The Canterbury chorus is just singing out, trying to urge their team, one of their players, to do something special, to force something that may give them the victory.
Tanu checking to see where Spencer is. It's not going out as far as Kerr. Kerr gets away from Vindiri. Surridge. The Blues coming up very flat. Lilly takes it in. Surridge again. 10 out from the 22. Flynn to Mertens. Punches it forward. Bounces up to Tanu. It's loose. It's a try. James Kerr's got the try. That might just about do it.
Well, you'd never believe it. He hung on to Tanu over the line, who was battling to hold the ball. In fact, Tanu got the ball, you'll see in the replay, just short of the goal line. It was a brilliant kick by Mertens. Have a look at that Tanu defence. Battling like anything, almost could have been playing the man without the ball. Certainly there's a scramble, and certainly he scored. You can see it on that angle. Well, are they happy? Well, I think they are.
They're happy, but the Auckland Blues look absolutely shell-shocked standing there. Their heads have gone down. They must have wondered, normally this is what Auckland does to teams, and suddenly it's happened to them virtually on injury time.
So Andrew Mertens trying to convert the James Kerr try. He's done it.
Wow, Norman Berryman will be having a party tonight. Well, watch the kick on a sixpence, set on its end. Desperation. James Kerr, you beaut. The Canterbury supporters will be pleased with him.
Still time to go. Crusaders looking to control it. What a final this has been. The Crusaders coming to Eden Park. Mertens positioning himself in behind. Now Paddy O'Brien, he says more time remaining. They've still got a chance. This is the last line out.
This is the last line out, Grant. Paddy O'Brien has just said this is it. This is the last one. I've got one chance, Auckland.
Well, such is my respect for Auckland, I wouldn't be surprised to see anything result from this. Beautiful ball, quick off the top, to the backs.
Last throw of the dice. Ronnie Clark. Ball is there for Tanu'u. Finding Stensness. He set up the only try for Auckland. They've got a penalty, so they're still alive. Tanu'u takes quickly. Looks for Olo Brown. Now Carter. Tanu'u up to Michael Jones.
The ball's up.
Throwing everything at it. Spencer. Cashmore. Ref. It's there for Robin Brooke. Tanu'u.
Should have moved it, I think. However, it's still there and it's still going.
Here they come now. Stensness. He should have moved it as well. Spencer. Jones pops it back. Vindiri. Ralph, they're closing him down. Flynn makes the tackle. It's time there. This will be it. It is it. Super 12 champions. The Canterbury Crusaders.
What a match this has been. So tight, so incredibly tight. The turnovers told the story. They were deserved turnovers. They fought both teams for them, and the advantage that came from those turnovers. Both teams equal throughout in attack and defence. A magnificent encounter. Worthy finalists. Every man and his dog were on the edge of their seat at Eden Park today, right from the beginning to the end of this game. And Canterbury walk away with the spoils they've wanted so much.
Well, incredible scenes here at Eden Park. 2 tries to 1. Remember, it was just 3-0 at half-time. But this is the Canterbury Crusaders side who are bottom of the table after 3 weeks. And they've come through and have beaten the defending champions by 20 points to 13.
It's been a gallant performance by Auckland. Every way a winner from about 6 weeks ago. I think everybody in the world of rugby was saying Auckland will win it again. Even the Sharks were in their changing room last week after losing to this team, Canterbury. But the Canterbury supporters and their team never doubted their ability. They were quietly confident when they arrived at the ground. Norman Maxwell, he's had a beaut today. He got a lot of ball. But it has been a tremendous effort and a great game of rugby by both teams.
Let's go downstairs. Buck Anderson with Andrew Mertens.
Just getting great hugs here from his teammates. Andrew Mertens, how does it feel to be Super 12 champions?
Very lucky, very privileged, and thankful that it's over, really. Most of the game I didn't really consider we were probably in it, and it seemed like we didn't didn't get a chance to find many shots. Their defence is so awesome, so we're a bit lucky with the tries we did get, but we'll take it. It's fantastic.
Your own defence wasn't bad. That's something Canterbury seems to have prided itself on over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it has, and it only a couple of times let us down, and maybe Auckland squandered a couple of try-scoring opportunities in the first half, but and then they came through and got the first points in the second half, which could have been crucial, but I don't know, maybe they went off the ball or we lifted it a wee bit, maybe both, so we're just very, very lucky, and it's a wonderful result. I don't know what to say.
Well, congratulations. Go and enjoy the moment, enjoy it with your teammates, and I'm sure there's a big party on down in Canterbury.
Yeah, we would have been going home tonight regardless of win or lose, but it's obviously nice going this way. Cheers.
Well, what a huge afternoon. It's been a huge week. It's been in the life of Scott Robertson. Marvellous, mate.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I tried to shut out the child and just concentrate on the final and do what I could do, but that first half, well, the time I was on was ugly, but I got prettier.
Well, it's pretty now because the result goes in your favour. What a fantastic atmosphere. Look at the Canterbury people here at Eden Park.
It's great. I feel like we're at home. You just look around the place and there's just flags everywhere, and I know it means a lot to the people, and on behalf of the team, I'd just like to thank them, really, coming up.
Mate, you've created history. You've come to Eden Park, you've knocked over the Blues. No one's done that before.
Yeah, we try to shut that all of our minds, and we just really concentrate on, cheers buddy, just concentrate on playing the game. It's just another game in another rectangle. That's how we look at it. So yeah, we won.
Enjoy the celebration, Scott. You've had a great time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Time to go to the airport for the Cantabrians. The plane gets in tonight. You'll have to work it out for yourself what time it is, but Wayne Smith's delighted as the Crusaders have won the Super 12 title at Eden Park by 20 points to 13.
Republic of South Africa, Australia and New Zealand, I would like first to thank the players and management of all 12 teams in the Super 12 competition for the magnificent 3 months of rugby that they've given us. Of all the teams, but in particular in New Zealand, sponsors of the competition, More FN subsidiary sponsors of the competition, Ford and Canterbury Apparel. And so to the final, to Michael Jones and the Auckland team, you've made the running for much of the competition. I know how disappointed you will be, but to have made the final for the third year in a row is a feat of which you should be very, very proud. And then we have Canterbury Crusaders. 8 weeks ago, they were last in the competition. Today, they are Ubix Rugby Super 12 champions. Let's hear it for the Crusaders.
Would the match officials please come forward for their awards? The referee, Mr. Paddy O'Brien. The linesman, Mr. Steve Walsh Jr., Mr. Steve Walsh. Reserve linesman, Mr. Glenn Wallstrom. Would the captain of Auckland, Michael Jones, please come forward to receive the runner-up the medallions and call forward his team.
And the Crusaders, congratulations guys, you're worthy winners, well done. To our boys, keep your heads up. We showed a lot of pride and we gutsed it out, and we've had a lot of knockers, but we stuck to our guns, and you know, Canterbury were worthy today. Just to the Auckland supporters, the public who have been very loyal to us, we thank you very, very much, and we really appreciate your support throughout the Super 12. Thank you. Especially right there.
So now the losing side today, the Auckland Blues, coming forward to receive their medallions. Craig Dowd, first one up. James Christian, what a day it's been for him. Murray picked up a try in his first really big game.
Well, I think his career has been reborn. We'll go on from here.
Bruce Willis, Mark Carter,
Olo Brown going forward, and now
Xavier Rush,
Robin Brook.
Professor Tunu,
Royce
Carlos
Willis has had a
Spencer,
marvellous season. We're going to hear a lot more about Royce
Steve
Willis.
Smith,
Mark Carter takes
Veronica
his
Clark,
medal.
Jolie Vanderi,
The back line waiting
Caleb
their opportunity.
Ralph, Adrian Cashmore,
Some of these guys we didn't see
Today's
today.
reserves,
Graham Henry
Jason
didn't go for his
Spice,
bench very much.
George Harder,
I guess that's part
Hayden
of what
Taylor,
the analysis
Shane
afterwards
McDonald,
will be. Did he use the bench enough?
Andrew
Did he put
Bowers,
some fresh legs on?
Leo Lafayette,
In fact, I don't think he went for the bench at all, did he?
other squad members,
Jonah
Jonah
Lomu
Lomu,
not fit or unable
Dylan
to play
Mika,
today.
Craig
And
Ennis,
he will, as part of
Brian
the
Limar,
party, is
Team
going forward
management,
to receive his medal as
Graham
well.
Henry, Mac McCallion, Rich Davey, Graham Patterson,
They can't get up there quite as quickly as
Paul
Michael
Wilson,
Jones is reading their names.
Guy Smith, and Lee Parori. Thank you very much.
When you hear some of those Auckland names called out, there is Mitchell. There've been so many have been injured. When you think of the great players that aren't on the field, Sean Fitzpatrick, Zinzan Brook, Brian Limar,
But it's certainly taken its toll this Super 12 season, hasn't? Charles Rickelman in the background there as well. Api Naivo, Andrew Roos, Paul Mitchell, all guys that have been injured at various stages of the season.
So it really does show the great depth of this wonderful Auckland side, that they can come through after losing all those players and be so close to winning it for a third time.
And now coming up, the big moment for the Canterbury Crusaders.
Sir Todd, I'd say. Sir Todd Blackadder.
Firstly, I'd like to, on behalf of our team, thank our coaches, Wayne Smith and Peter Sloan, and our excellent management team headed by Rob Deans. We thank all you guys for a superb year. I'd just like to thank Michael Jones and the Auckland team for the way they played today, and we were very lucky to get out of jail, and I thought you guys had a tremendous game. We thank you very much for the game. I'd just like to say that the Canterbury Crusaders today, being a regional team, we represent the province of Marlborough, Nelson Bays, Buller, the West Coast, Mid Canterbury, and South Canterbury, and Canterbury. And I thank you very much for your support. Also, throughout the season, I'd just like to thank all our red and black supporters for a tremendous year. The way you support the team has been magnificent. I'd just like to thank our Canterbury. I'd just like to thank our franchise sponsors, Countrywide Bank, DB Draft, North Spread, and MedLab and Nike, and we thank you very much for your ongoing support. And lastly, I'd just like to thank our players for a tremendous year. And before, I'll just say BS and G, and we thank you very much. Thank you.
So now Todd Blackadder will bring his players up to receive their winning medallions.
Kevin Napier. Mark Hammett. Stewie Lowe.
What a season for Mark Hammett. Stu Lowe, the marvellous servant of Canterbury Rugby.
Norm Maxwell. Scotty Robinson. Steve Surridge. Aaron Flynn. Andrew Burns. Norm Berryman. Mark Mayhoffler. Tabai Matson. James Kerr. Daryl Gibson. Daryl Lilly. Tony Marsh. Blair Feeney. Ace Tier. Greg Feek. Angus Gardner. Steve Lancaster. Our coach, Wayne Smith. Our other coach, Peter Sloan. Our manager, Robbie Deans. Our Monsieur Errol Collins. Stephen Cope, our physio. Mike Anthony, our trainer. Rob Campbell, the doctor. And Gilbert Inoka, our Placo coordinator. Matt Sexton. Just shake. Phil Taylor. Con Barrow. Graham Jack. Clark McLeod. And last, Terry Williamson. Thank you.
So now the big moment for Todd Blackadder when he gets to hold the trophy. He wants the rest of the side up there with him. I'm not sure they can all make it onto the dais, but this is
well, Toddy, last year I had the pleasure of giving you the Air New Zealand NPC. You're making a bit of a habit of this. Congratulations to you, the Canterbury Crusaders, Ubix Super 12 champions, 1998.
That's the shot you'll be seeing for months to come as Todd Blackadder holds the trophy aloft. And the third year of Super 12 has come to a conclusion, and the Canterbury Crusaders have wrested the title off the previous champions, the Auckland Blues. Now let's hear from another of the Crusaders. This time it's Kevin Napier.
Joining me on the sideline, a two-time winner of Super 12, once with the Auckland Blues and now with the Canterbury Crusaders. Kevin, how did it feel doing the job against the old team?
Oh, I'm just overwhelmed, you know. I really don't know what to say. It's just, I'm stunned, lost for words. It's amazing.
Was it an enjoyable second time round winning as the first win with the Blues?
You know, if ever you get the opportunity to go into a final like this and come out a winner, I think it's something you'll hold with you for the rest of your life, and this is going to be no exception. It's amazing.
And so much was made of this battle between the front rows. How tough was it out there today?
It was huge. I mean, Ola, you know, class prop. Just I can't say enough about him. You know, made my job really hard today, and you know, I was just really knackered.
There's a big huddle of team supporters going on there with your players. Best we let you get over there and join in with them.
Cheers.
Kevin Negia, just one of the special heroes in this Canterbury Crusaders side here this afternoon. Well, I think it'll be a while before these guys get off the park. What a wonderful game. It was tight, Murray. We expected perhaps a higher scoring match, but it really was a true final, this one.
Well, it's magnificent, really. To think that the Super 12 was so good last year, we didn't think it'd be as good this year, but it's even better. Summary of 20 points to 13 to the Crusaders.
Now, Norman Maxwell and James Kerr, who played for the Blues in 1996, and it fell to him to score the match-winning try. Mertens converted both and kicked 2 penalties. James Christian got the first try of the match early in the second half, and Adrian Cashmore the penalty, the conversion and the drop goal. And in the end, it was the Crusaders who prevailed here at Eden Park by 20 points to 13.